Hello there, welcome to the channel. This is Nerd.World, and in today's episode, if you didn't know from the title that you just clicked on, we're exploring the ISS Discovery, a continuation of my series on all things concerning the mirror universe of Star Trek, one of my personal favourite explorations of the Star Trek universe. The ISS Discovery was an Imperial Starfleet warship, although it may have had some scientific attributes as well, which is, to be fair, not completely inconsistent with the Terran Empire. I mean, they've got to research something. The vessel under the command of Captain Sylvia Tilly, who is affectionately known as Captain Killy. And let's take a look at the ship. Now, previously what we knew about the ship was actually pretty limited. It is a Crossfield class starship, or in the Mirror Universe, Crossfield class warship. It was commissioned at an unknown date, as they don't exactly line up with the Prime Universe and the Mirror Universe, so we don't know exactly when it was launched. We do know, based on the plaque on the ship, that it was launched from the Tranquility Base shipyards on Luna, Earth's moon. Incidentally, the USS Defiant of the 23rd century, a Constitution-class vessel that would be trapped in a sort of subspace balls-up that would take it into the Mirror Universe, but also 100 years into the past, which would ultimately save the Terran Empire from rebellion, was also launched from this same shipyard, as its plaque on its bridge indicated the same thing. As an interesting coincidence. The ISS Discovery was presumably, and somewhat demonstrated on screen, as being much more heavily armed and more powerful than its Prime Universe counterpart. The only thing it really lacked was a spore drive, as there's nothing ever stated that it had one. The only apparent use of spore technology in the Mirror Universe was the creation of weapons, hardly shocking considering the kind of people the Terrans are. The ISS Discovery was commanded by Captain Sylvia Tilly. As previously stated, she assumed command when she assassinated her previous commanding officer, who is not named. And Terrans being Terrans, she probably had a good reason. It was probably cowardice or something or other along those lines. Clearly it was supported by the crew, and Starfleet Command didn't have her thrown out of an airlock for doing it. So it must have been justified, at least to some degree. It doesn't exactly hurt that she had curried a lot of favour with the Emperor. The ISS Discovery as well was utilised as the transport vessel for the Emperor from Earth to rendezvous with her new flagship, the ISS Charon. The vessel which, again, had the advanced spore drive-based weapons array. The Discovery otherwise was a relatively unremarkable ship within the Imperial Starfleet. It was a fairly unorthodox design, not exactly in keeping with traditional Starfleet design aesthetic. A possible reflection of the vessel's somewhat scientific nature, as the vessel's motto, which I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce in Latin, basically translates that all knowledge can be discovered, you just gotta find it. Is me paraphrasing it. That's not an exact translation, but basically the fact that the Terrans put such a quote on one of their ships as well indicates that the vessel did have some, at least limited, scientific uses beyond those of the theatres of war. Now, in the original continuity, this vessel, when the USS Discovery jumped into the Mirror Universe, the Mirror Universe sister ship bounced back into the Prime Universe and was then destroyed by the Klingons. But it's now not known, thanks to the events of time and spatial displacement created by the Guardian of Forever, where Empress Georgiou returned to her own universe and affected the outcome of events. It is now conceivable that the ISS Discovery was not swapped in the same way. It is possible that the vessel has continued on, and we may see it again in the future, but as of this date, it was originally destroyed in 2257, which we'll have to assume still happens. But again, we can't be certain. The vessel may now have a different chain of events that may take it to that, as a result of the removal of Empress Georgiou and Lorca, and the changes to the timeline with Burnham and the General Rebellion may have changed the effects on the Discovery in that universe. So it may have gone on to have a proud and distinguished long life with the Imperial Starfleet, blowing up Klingon ships, fighting the enemies of the Empire, putting down rebellions, and expanding the frontiers of the great and bountiful Terran Empire. Long live the Empire. Now, That is speculation, but it could do, and I hope it does. Because I want every ship in the Imperial Starfleet to keep on going up, kicking that alien ass. Because who doesn't want to see that? Alien scum, humanity first, all that good stuff. Go Terrans. That's pretty much all we know of the ISS Discovery. Its crew were more or less the same as in the Prime universe. Of course, it had soldiers on board it rather than scientists and explorers. It also had a proportional number of treacherous crew members who were conspiring with Lorca against the Emperor, one of which was not Killy. Killy, or Captain Tilly more accurately, actually warned the Emperor about the rebellion, and even about growing discontent on the Empire's borders with some of its old enemies, such as the Klingons, races that had been somewhat subjugated by the Empire, but clearly not completely. And this was where Lorca's rebellion sort of came from. It was partly based on the fact that the Emperor seemed almost ineffectual. She'd not properly put these things down, even though the Discovery had been involved in this, the invasion of Kronos, where the Emperor had commanded the fleet herself, and they sat in orbit shooting down Klingon ships as they tried to escape while they bombarded the planet's surface. It clearly wasn't enough, or perhaps it was overkill, maybe it was too much. Either way, long live the Empire, long live Captain Killy, and long live the ISS Discovery. And hopefully she wasn't destroyed in 2257, and we're going to see her again in future crossover events or episodes. Perhaps its own time displacement, or it'll be taken to the 32nd century, who knows. That's it, that's all we know. I hope you liked the video. It's only a short one. Please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you think. Would you like to see the Discovery again? I know, based on some of the reactions I've had to my Captain Killy videos and general fan reactions, just how awesome Mary Wiseman is in that role and how she just chews the scenery in every moment she is on the screen. I'm sure the producers have noticed that, and we may be seeing the Discovery again, or at the very least Captain Killy and a few members of her crew again at some point in the future, which would be wonderful, perhaps in Discovery Season 4. That said, thanks for watching. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, you're a beautiful human being, and bye bye.